So there's this one time I asked my mother why was you and daddy making all those noises, and she told me how she was baking a cake, so I wanted to bake a cake too, so I asked my friend to come over so we can bake a cake, and when she came she was confused. So we was just standing staring at each other naked. Next thing you know we just starting making moaning noises to bake the cake like my mom said, and she walked in on us.
Last month I found out that my dad has been cheating on my mom with some bitch at work. My little sister was watching YouTube on his phone when we got a Snapchat notification from a girl called Babe Number 1, so she pressed on it so she can give it to my dad, and the message said, "When are you leaving them? Can't wait for you." And when I came back home I confronted him about it crying, and now I've been blackmailing him about it so I can get whatever I want, but on a promise I don't tell my mom. Anyways, I told my mom yesterday and I told her I've been using him to get what I want, and she told me to keep on blackmailing him so he can go bankrupt and go to his side hoe for help. Anyways, guess who's getting a new phone this week?
Okay, so one time in 7th grade I spent the night at my boyfriend's house, and we were night swimming and I had to use the bathroom, and realized I started my period. I was literally just 13, and started a few months before, and never knew how to use a tampon, so I was looking for one. Then I remembered he lived with his grandma who had already went through menopause, so I don't find anything. But I needed something, so me being the stupid effing genius, I went to the kitchen and looked for a sponge. I found one. It was new and clean by the way, but cut the scrubby green side off, so I was just left with the yellow. Anyway, I went back to the bathroom and shoved it up my cooch. I went back and swam. I was gone for some time, so I told him I took a shit. Anyway, we were done swimming, and I went to take a dish sponge out of my cooch, and it was so far up there I was crying. And once I finally took it out, the inside of my coochie walls were literally so torn up it felt like Gordon Ramsay himself cut up some chicken. Anyway, I was in the shower crying. I was in so
one
much
time
pain.
when I was little I thought I could talk to trees, because I had no friends, and I used to sit by them and say things, and one day I was talking to my tree friend called Kevin, and this girl went up to me and said, "Are you talking to that tree, freak?" And I started crying and hugged onto the tree, and while she was laughing one of the branches fell on the girl's head. Thanks, Kevin. I had a boyfriend back in junior year, but I was close with his friends before I dated him. When we were dating I had his friend in one of my classes, and he was so sweet and funny but never went further because he respected our relationship. Then my boyfriend and I broke up and I was so upset. I told him about it and he said he was here for me. Over the past few months the more I talked with him the more I realized I liked him, but I wasn't sure if he would like me back. One day I opened up to him about my depression and anxiety, and he was so kind and understanding about it, unlike how my ex was. He works at a boba shop and he asked if I wanted boba. I said yes jokingly, but surprisingly he asks for my address and shows up around 11:30 at night since he closes. I had to sneak out to the front, but it was worth it. The moment I saw him with my boba and when he said, "I'm always here for you and you can talk to me about anything," I knew I made the wrong choice in dating my ex when he was there all along. I am still currently falling for him and he doesn't know how I feel, but I know for a fact I don't want to lose him. In middle school the popular kids went through this really fucking weird but kind of funny phase where they would scream so loud when they had to sneeze. This one girl was so loud, oh my god, she'd literally straight up scream before she sneezed. Like instead of the ah ah chew it'd be like a chew.
To the hospital with my entire family because my grandma was dying of cancer. I was crying really hard, and my grandma said to me, "Don't worry baby, I'm going to a better place." I slapped the hell out of her and told her to stay. She died. One time at lunch my best friend wanted to make out with a boy in the bathroom and asked me to take the second girl's pass so that nobody could come to the bathrooms, and the boy's friend did the same. Then we all went to the bathroom and my friend went into the boys' bathroom, so I left her there and she said she would be back in 10 minutes. After 10 minutes I went back to the bathroom and she was still in there, so I thought she was going to get raped, so I burst in and saw my friend crying. I grabbed her arm and tried to drag her out, but then a teacher came in and detained us all as if it was a motherfucking crime scene. They told us to give them our phones and I got to go to the office and the teacher questioned me like it was a Q&A, like bitch fuck off. Then she let me go and back to class and I started having a panic attack.
One time when I was at a friend's house we were prank calling and we decided to call our local strip club. We called them and asked them what you have to do to become a stripper, and she told us the requirements and pay and more. She asked if we were 18 or older and we said we were 17 about to turn 18. At this point she was telling us to come in and do an interview. We eventually told her we were kids and she hung up and we got a call from a different number. It was her mobile phone and she had our address and our parents' number. We were scared so we hung up, but my friend was terrified that she would call her parents and her parents were strict. We blocked both numbers and went to bed.